the UK. Now, you could swan off to Dubai or Portugal, but for many of us investors, it's not possible. For me, the main reason why I wouldn't do this is because of family, and also I actually love the UK. Just because the tax system here in the UK is a joke, I'm not ready to give up on the UK just yet. So today, as you can imagine from the intro, is all about tax. I'm going to be telling you the tax rules here in the UK. I'll be telling you data that I'm going to be using to help me take profits, my latest exit strategy for 2025, and to finish, I'll be telling you how to legally avoid paying crypto tax here in the UK. So, tax rules in the UK. In the United Kingdom, cryptocurrencies are treated as assets, not currency, and are subject to taxation under rules set by His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, HMRC, for the 2025-2026 tax year. Here's a summary of the latest crypto tax rules based on recent guidance from the HMRC. Capital gains tax. Taxable events. Capital gains tax applies when you dispose of crypto assets, including selling crypto for fiat currency like British pounds, GBP, exchanging one cryptocurrency for another like Bitcoin for Solana, for example, using crypto to pay for goods or services, gifting crypto to someone other than a spouse or civil partner. So for me personally, if I make profits, whatever profits I make, I can send to my wife and she can take advantage of that 3,000 tax-free allowance. For, as I've just said, the 2025-2026 tax year, the capital gains tax-free allowance is £3,000, down from 6,000 in 2023 and 2024. Gains below this threshold are tax-free. Tax rates. As of October 30th, 2024, capital gains tax rates for crypto disposals increased due to the autumn budget 2024. Basic rate taxpayers, so that's income from 12,571 to 50,270, 18%, and this was previously 10%. Higher and additional rate taxpayers, income over 50,270, 24%, and this was previously 20%. So as I said at the start, the tax system here in the UK is a bit of a joke, to say the least, but we are going to finish with how you can legally avoid paying your crypto tax. So the data I'm going to be using to help me take profits. First of all, and most importantly, is the global M2 money supply. Now, Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin is correlated with global M2 money supply, and you're talking 85%. Now, the global M2 money supply is going to go up significantly this year. It's a fact. And that's because huge countries like the US, like China, need to refinance their debts. So the US have got $9 trillion to pay the debts. So they are going to be turning their money printers on. That global liquidity is going to be increasing. So this is one to watch. And as that goes up, Bitcoin and crypto will be going up. Now, a sign that the bull market's near the top is when that tapers off, when that starts to slow down or even reverse. So this is one to look out for. The next data I'll be monitoring, which is also important, is the ISM Manufacturing Index. This basically tells you the state of the American economy. Now, currently that's about 48 at the moment. We want that really above 50. And when it gets to 60 odd, this, based on historical data, is a good time to take profits. Next is market emotions. Now, to track this, I use the Fear and Greed Index on CoinMarketCap, should I say. Now, basically, you want to be going against the head. When there's loads of fear in the market, this is a good buying opportunity. When there's greed in the market, this is a good time to sell. So this is one to monitor. Next is technical analysis. Now, I'm not a day trader. I just want to know the general direction of the market to help me take profits. 2025, as I keep saying, is all about taking profits. Technical analysis, I use simple moving average, exponential moving average, RSI, relative strength index, and volume. And this just tells me where we are. Are we sideways, uptrend, downtrend? And this will help me take profits in over the course of the next few months. I'm also looking at Bitcoin dominance, and this is sticking at around 63, 64%. For alt season to really start, we want this to drop to 50 or even below 50%. Others dominance, this is cryptos outside of the top 10. We want this up to about 14, 15%. Again, this is a good indicator that alt season has really kicked in. I'm also keeping up to date with what's going on, and I use X and YouTube, and I'm reading articles on Cointelegraph, TradingView, etc., etc. Finally, I'm checking to see if retail are back in. Now, the way to check this, or one of the ways, is to check on Apple app stores. If Coinbase, Binance, other exchanges, other crypto exchanges are somewhere near the top, you know that retail are back in. So this is the data I'll be using, or some of the data I'll be using to help me to take profits. Now, if you want to know exactly how I'm putting all that data together, type yes below and you can book a one-to-one strategy call. It's a 60-minute strategy call where I use all of my 8 years experience to help you to take profits. Basically, what you need to do is join my crypto community, and then you get a one-to-one strategy call. I'll be talking about my crypto community in a few minutes. Now, my current exit strategy for 2025. Updated exit strategy, here we go. It's aligned with my risk tolerance and my financial goals. This should be the same for every single investor. Your risk tolerance and your financial goals is hugely important. I'm going to be taking 50% out in Q2 if alt season actually starts, which I believe it will. I'm going to take 30% out in Q4, and I'll be leaving 20% in long term. For my tax-free crypto, which today is all about, which is held in my ISA and my SIP, I'm going to swap 100% for cash in Q4 and leave the cash inside my tax-free wrappers. So that's my ISA and my SIP. This strategy is for some of my main positions, and that's Sol, Solana, Sui, HBAR, Casper, and some of my other positions. With XRP, I'll take 50% out in Q4 and 50% is for long term, because I believe that XRP will be used for CBDCs, and once that happens in a few years' time, the price is going to increase significantly. Anyway, for Tau, my main AI position, I'll take 80% out in Q4 and leave 20% in long term. Now, just for a bit of fun, a bit of speculation, here's some price targets. Solana, $750, Sui, $15, HBAR, $1, XRP, $10, Tau, $9,000, BTC, $150,000. So as I said, that's just a bit of fun. It's not financial advice. Nothing, as always, in this video should be taken as financial advice. Anyway, what this whole video is about, how to legally avoid paying crypto tax here in the UK. Now, one of the ways you can do it is by just holding long term. So let's say you've been dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin over the last few years, you managed to get 0.5 Bitcoin. Now, if you just leave that in long term, you don't have to pay tax on it. So this is important to understand. But as I said a few minutes ago, if you swap that Bitcoin for Ethereum or Solana, this is seen by the HMRC as a taxable event. So long term, if you just leave it long term, this is tax free. Now, I also said you get a £3,000 tax-free allowance. So let's say you invested £10,000 and you got a 10x. So that's £10,000 profit. If you want to, so with that profit, if you transfer that into fiat currency, you're going to get £3,000 tax-free. The other £7,000 profit, you're going to pay tax on. And it might be 24%, might be 18%, depending on your earnings. You can also, as I said again a few minutes ago, send some of your profits, some of your crypto over to your spouse and make use of their £3,000 tax-free allowance. The main way I'm avoiding tax legally here in the UK is by investing into companies, into stocks within my tax-free wrappers. And I have MicroStrategy and Coinbase both in my ISA and my SIP. These are my main positions. I do have other stocks like Tesla, Robinhood, but my main positions are MicroStrategy, should I say, and Coinbase. MicroStrategy, I bought this in late 2023, November 2023, and this was to get more exposure to Bitcoin. Basically, Michael Saylor and his company buy shitloads of Bitcoin. And you're talking, they now have over 500,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. This is basically a Bitcoin company. So if you buy MicroStrategy stock, this is a way to get more exposure to Bitcoin. The best way is obviously to buy Bitcoin on an exchange and send it to a cold wallet. But I had some money in my SIP, in my pension, so I wanted to use it. Instead of having it in my ETF, in my Vanguard ETF, I wanted to swap it for MicroStrategy to get exposure to Bitcoin. I've also got Coinbase stock, another one of my main positions. This is to get exposure to Bitcoin and crypto in general. What do you invest into to get tax-free gains in the UK? Let me know below in the comments. So are you investing in MicroStrategy, Coinbase? You might be investing into a crypto ETF, for example. Again, let me know. So this is basically how you legally avoid crypto tax here in the UK. If there's anything I've missed, let me know. I did do a video. I've done 2 videos on my main channel where I went into great detail on how to legally avoid crypto tax in the UK, because the tax system is a bit of a joke. So we want to be as tax efficient as possible. So that's about it for today. I'm just going to finish with how I can really help you win in crypto with my 8 years of experience. Now, basically, if you look in the description of my main YouTube channel, you'll find the link for my crypto community over on school. There you're getting 4 investing courses currently. You're getting a weekly newsletter to keep you fully up to date and to help you to take profit. And you're also getting a one-to-one strategy call, which I mentioned earlier on. This strategy call is going to help you to take profit. And that's what it's all about this year in crypto. Because if you hold on to your cryptos too long, you get too emotionally attached, you're going to lose in crypto. I've seen it time and time again. This is what happened to me in 2017 and 2018. I didn't cash out because I was clueless. I had no strategy. Please focus on education. The more you focus on education, the better you're going to be at crypto. The more you focus on education, you're going to become financially literate. I honestly believe that if you become financially literate, you get financial freedom eventually. It's inevitable. This is my opinion. Let's have a look at the little comments. Eugene Fox, hello. Hi. Can I get a shout out? Of course you can. What is this about? This is about being tax-free in crypto, as I've been talking about. Bro, this is Dan Scam Crypto. Crypto, some people think crypto is a scam. It's not a scam when you look into it. Please just look into it. Watch some videos on YouTube, read a few books, and you realize it's not a scam. Because most people, especially young people, can't afford things like property. So this is their chance to get on the property ladder. For example, they might invest £5,000 and they might get a 5x. If they focus on education, if they do the research, this is definitely possible. That 5,000 goes to 25,000. This is a deposit for a house here in the UK. It gives people a chance of beating the system. You might invest 50,000, 100,000. You might make a lot of money. This is a really good chance because of inflation, because they turn the money printers on all the time, because of the broken financial system. People, especially young people, are having to turn to Bitcoin and crypto because the money printers mean that inflation isn't 2 or 3%, as the UK government, as other governments say. It's much higher because of currency debasement, because of inflation. That number, when you listen to people like Raoul Pal, is more like 11%. So you've got to get 11% returns just to tread water. You might be involved you might invest in the SP 500 and get 10%. This isn't enough to preserve your wealth. Again, that's why people are turning to Bitcoin and other riskier assets like crypto, like Solana, Ethereum, Sui, etc. Anyway, hopefully you've got value from this little video. Hopefully I've taught you something about crypto tax. Again, it isn't financial advice. I'm not a tax expert. If you need proper advice, go and speak to an accountant who has suitable qualifications, they know about crypto, they know about tax. so you can be as tax efficient as possible, so you don't have to pay the government too much in tax. Yes, you might have to pay 24% or 18%, but you're going to have to pay that. You're going to have to pay some of your profits are going to have to go to tax. It's just a fact if you stay in the UK. Anyway, I'm whittering on. That'll do for now. Thanks for watching.